what is the state of salvation according to the different schools of Vedanta? Most schools of Vedanta conceive salvation as mukti, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, liberation from rebirth. As I pointed out, they all agree on this. According to Achintya Bhedabheda Vedanta, however, the school founded by Chaitanya, the supreme goal is not mukti, it's not liberation from rebirth, but bhakti, the supreme love of Krishna, which nonetheless entails mukti as an incidental byproduct, iccha phala. It's not that lovers of Krishna will not attain mukti. They will, of course, get mukti, but as a kind of byproduct, like a side effect of bhakti. But Vedantic schools differ on two key questions relating to salvation. Number one, what is the precise nature of salvation? And number two, is it possible to attain jivan mukti, which means the attainment of liberation while still in this physical body, while still living in the physical body? So let's take these questions one at a time. Question one, what is the nature of salvation according to these different schools? According to two schools of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta and Aupadika Bhedabheda, no sense of individuality remains in the liberated state. I don't remain as an individual soul in the state of salvation, nor do you, nor do you, nor do you. There's no individuality left. Only according to these two schools, Aupadika Bhedabheda and Advaita Vedanta. All that you are, all that remains is Brahman itself, and no individual. However, all of the other Vedantic schools maintain that individuality remains even in the liberated state. There are still individual souls in the state of salvation. For most theistic schools of Vedanta, salvation consists in residing eternally in a super-terrestrial realm, such as Vaikuntha Loka. There are many different terms for this, Goloka. And the individual, the liberated soul resides in this higher Loka with a non-physical body made of Shuddha Sattva, pure Sattva, blissfully serving and communing with the personal God. So it's a kind of heaven, an eternal heaven. This is the understanding of salvation according to most theistic schools of Vedanta. Now, the second question. Is Jivan Mukti possible? Is it possible to attain Mukti while still in the physical body? Now, what is Advaita Vedanta's view? It's a little bit complicated. Advaita Vedanta explicitly accepts the possibility of Jivan Mukti because the scriptures say again and again that it seems to be possible to attain liberation while in the physical body. So Advaita Vedanta, because they accept Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutta, they have to accept the idea of Jivan Mukti. But the problem is that its world-negating metaphysics makes it difficult to reconcile its philosophy with the concept of Jivan Mukti. What do I mean? Remember that Shankara distinguishes two standpoints. And he says that only from the empirical standpoint, the Vyavaharika standpoint, is this world real. But from the ultimate standpoint, this world does not exist. It's just a product of ignorance. So now let's look at the first bullet point. According to Shankara's school, this world, this entire world of names and forms, and our embodied existence, the physical body itself, are products of ignorance, avidya. So the liberating knowledge of Brahman, when we attain knowledge of Brahman, remember, knowledge of Brahman means the removal of ignorance. Now, if you remove ignorance, then the product of ignorance should also disappear. And that means that this world should also disappear because the world is the product of ignorance. So the problem is that the removal of ignorance seems to be incompatible with continued bodily existence because bodily existence itself is the product of ignorance, which is destroyed when you attain knowledge of Brahman. This is the logic, this is the difficulty, the philosophical difficulty with maintaining Jivan Mukti from the standpoint of Advaita Vedanta. So now, the thing to keep in mind is that many Advaita Vedantins themselves, many great thinkers like Madhusudana Saraswati and many others, Chitsuka, after Shankara, they understood this problem. So what they claimed is that even the Jivan Mukta has what they call a trace of ignorance, avidya lesha, which is responsible for the prarabdha karma, the karma that is not yet fructified, that sustains the physical body. So even they say that the Jivan Mukta is not fully liberated because he has a trace of ignorance. You see, why do they have to say this? Because of this philosophical problem. Because if a person is fully liberated, he cannot inhabit the physical body. Because the physical body itself is a product of ignorance. And if you have completely eradicated ignorance, there can be no physical body, there can be no world. Okay? If you're interested in details on this issue, this very interesting issue of how do Advaita Vedantins try to justify Jivan Mukti, please look at Lance Nelson's scholarly article, Living Liberation in Shankar and Classical Advaita, published in 1996. It's a very nice article. Now, non-Advaitic schools of Vedanta adopt a variety of stances toward Jivan Mukti. According to Vishishta Dvaita and Nimbarkar's Svabhavika Bhedabheda school, Jivan Mukti is not possible at all. Ramanuja says it's not possible to attain Jivan Mukti. Nimbarka also says the same thing. Nonetheless, Vishishta Dvaitins do accept the possibility of attaining the state of a Sthita Prajna, whose liberation is assured after death. So Sthita Prajna in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, Ramanuja is very happy to accept all of these, the possibility of attaining the state of Sthita Prajna. But the full liberation you can only get after you leave the physical body.